Assalamu alaikum, kids. So today we are going to learn how to determine the direction of a vector. All right. So to determine the direction of a vector, you can use various methods. So the very first one being up, down, left, and right. Now, up, down, left, and right has limited use. Why? Because you can only represent four directions. Then you have north, south, east, west. Again, limited use. Why? Because you only have eight directions: north, east, south, west. Then you've got northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest. All right. Again, sometimes the questions use northwest or northeast or southwest, something like this. So what you need to remember is that each of these directions is exactly 45 degrees. So let's say, for example, northwest is going to be 45 degrees from the north and 45 degrees from the west as well. Northeast is going to be 45 degrees from the north and 45 degrees from the east as well. All right, so that's a little something that you need to know about north, south, east, west. Now, again, this is rarely used by your questions. Then you've got angles. Now, angles can be used to give directions, but the problem is a 130-degree angle can represent four different angles from a horizontal. So all of these angles are exactly 30 degrees. But then there's another problem. Maybe you have the 30-degree angle from the vertical. So all of these angles are also 30 degrees. So the problem with angle is that just saying the angle is not enough to a certain direction. All right. So maybe it's 30 degrees from the north, 30 degrees from the positive x-axis, 30 degrees from the south, 30 degrees from the negative x-axis or the positive y-axis, so on and so forth. So again, it could be a lot of different things. So to amend that, what we do is we add reference points. All right, so that's where bearings come in. Now, bearing is basically any angle from the north. So let's say, for example, you have this right here, or you have basically a north, and this right here is a north as well. So each of the angles that we saw previously, 30 degrees from the horizontal, four different, and then 30 degrees from the vertical, four different of them. Each of them has a different bearing. So let's say, for example, this is 30 degrees from the positive x-axis, but it has a bearing of exactly 60 degrees. All right, so think of it, this right here is a 90 degree. Okay, let me just change the color. Let's take this one. So this right here is 90 degrees. So if I take away the 30, I'm left with 60. So bearings are always formed from the north. So this right here is going to be a bearing 0, 6, 0. Let's say, for example, this right here is 30 degrees as well. Now, if this angle right here, like I said, this angle right here is 90. So if I add 30, this right here is going to be bearing 120. All right. Then let's say, for example, this is 30 as well. If this is 30 degrees and this is 90, then this angle is supposed to be 60 degrees. So this whole angle is 180. And then 180 plus 60 is going to give me bearing 240. And then let's say, for example, this angle right here is 30 as well. But the bearing for this angle is going to be, again, this whole thing right here is 270 degrees, and then 30 more, it's going to give me bearing 300. All right, so each of these 30 degree directions from the horizontal has a different bearing. So that's why primarily for directions, bearings are used. Let's go for the vertical. Let's say, for example, you have this 30 degree from the vertical. Now 30 degree from the vertical is going to be bearing 030. 30 degrees from the vertical like this, again, this whole angle is 180. All right, this whole angle is 180. I'll take away the 30, I'm left with bearing 150. Then this is 30 as well. I want to figure out the bearing for this one. So again, like I said, this whole thing is 180. 180 plus the 30 is going to give me bearing 210. And then this is 30 as well. I want to figure out the bearing for this one. So I'm going to go this whole direction right here. This is 360, one complete rotation, but I'm going to take away this 30 degree angle. So this right here is going to be bearing 3, 3, and 0. So for bearings, what you need to remember is bearings are always measured clockwise from the north. All right, so clockwise from the north is what you need to remember, and you want to figure out all the angles 30 degrees, sorry, clockwise from the north. So again, I'm repeating, this 30-degree angle right here has a bearing 060, bearing 120, 240, and 300. Then you've got 030, 150, 210, and 330. All right, so this right here, again, practice this. Just look at it one more time, rewind, try figuring out the bearings for yourself so you understand it better. All right, so this right here is what you need to know about the directions of a vector. All right, next we are going to learn about how to use the head to tail rule. So I'll see you in the next video. Bars out.